I made sure that I unmuted everybody this time, so hello everybody and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Currently we are in the, if you are following along via the book, we are in the Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh portion of this, which I'm very excited to be going through. So first thing is first, today is May 30th, 2019, and you are loved. It's a very important thing to remember, and I like saying it at the beginning of every stream because I really do appreciate and love everybody who decides to stop by and help out. And even if you aren't here stopping by, you're still loved. It's an important thing. Other things to remember, we stream at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all here at twitch.tv/indoor adventures. And if you are missing out on this, then you can either check our audio cast, wherever audio casts are found at Indoor Adventures, or you can go to youtube.com/indoor adventures, and that has VODs of all of the games that we've played since we started this channel, which is at this point, we have 116 videos. So, hey, if you're looking for more tabletop games to watch, we got you, bud! Other things to keep in mind for the stream. Guys, did you know if you go to bit.ly/indoor/adventure merch, I got my own URL mixed up. You can find some pretty sweet merch. We got mugs, we got posters. You can actually see the poster that I have on the wall now. It's a movie poster size of the Moon Maiden's picture that Danae did as a high resolution update to the one that is actually on the shirts. So it's a slightly different picture. Coriander has more hair. Oliviette's eyes have more color to them. It is much more bright and vibrant. I would suggest checking it out. Maybe I'll put it on a mug, and you can expect more merch to be coming out in the store soon. I'm still working on trying to figure out how to make butt pants, because I want pants for my butt, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, you can help support the show not only through merch, but also by going to patreon.com/indoor adventures, or if you want to subscribe via Twitch, you can either do so with your own money or you can use Bezos bucks, because if you have Twitch or Amazon Prime already, you can go to Twitch and connect them, and then you will have a Twitch Prime subscription. So then it is Uncle Jeffy giving me money instead of you, and then everybody wins. So that is another way that you can join. Or if you are curious, we also have a Discord that you can join and be a part of, and it's super cool, has all of these fine people in it. We recently added a animal companions and familiars section to our Discord, so it's just a bunch of animals, and LB is currently foster momming for 2 bottle-fed kittens, so if you want really tiny fur sausages, that is the best place that you can find them. So with that in mind, guys, who are we playing tonight? We'll start with you, Dingo.
I'm Dingo, she, her, and I am playing Hish Sungard, the half-orc fighter, he, him.
Excellent. Kiana, who are you playing?
I'm Keanu, he, him. I am playing Ulman Dark, the human rogue, also he, him.
Cyber, who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Cyber, he, him. I'm playing Albus, the Clashar Bard, he, him.
All right, Kyle.
Hi everyone, I'm Kylan. I am playing Jilfa'en, the half-elf cleric, who also goes by Jill, and we both use she, her.
And I am the indoor adventurer, and I will be your dungeon master for this evening. Now, last we left off, you all met in the sleepy city of Saltmarsh, where, Hish, you were an honest smuggler who had heard word that if you cleared out a haunted house 4 miles to the south of the town, that you could get a pretty sizable reward. So you went to the Snapping Line, a local tavern famous for a fish wine that is a combination of lobster claw meat and potatoes, which we discussed in our after show last time, is basically just an alcoholic chowder, but it's disguised as wine. And then you guys ended up all meeting together over a few cups of this lobster meat potato wine, and decided that you were going to go and investigate this haunted house. As Ulman, you were very excited to be able to do some high quality adventuring. And the people you were with seemed, you know, the adventurous sort. So you guys all went up, and in front of the house got accosted by weasels. Jill, you almost got dragged underneath the house by said weasels. It was a really rough time. You guys ended up going inside of the house, checking it out, found a room with a hopeless number of spiders within, and rescued a almost naked man who is bound named Ned. Ned Shake Staff. I keep wanting to say Shake Shaft, but that is a completely different character. If you you guys rescued him, ended up fighting some totally not bats inside of the house, and then upon going to the lowest part of the house that you could, ended up finding a trap door, and inside of this trap door there was a set of stairs that actually led deeper down into a cavern below. And as you guys entered, you heard the words, sorry. Where is it? You heard, welcome, fools. Welcome to your deaths. And that didn't dissuade you guys at all, so you threw open the trapdoor and decided to hop on down. And now you are currently in a small hallway looking out into what just looks like a longer hallway that kind of curves down to the right a little bit. There's stone walls on either side, and you can hear what sounds like the ocean kind of farther off. And looking down this hallway, after having exchanged some health potions towards the end of last session, you guys can actually see a flickering light, almost. And the four of you can smell what can only really be described as a cooked ham far off down the hallway. It smells very fresh. Everything else about this entire city, about this entire place, it seems like, is just pure fish smell, but you can actually smell a different sort of meat kind of being cooked down the way. What would you like to do?
Want ham.
Oh,
Sorry, that ham smells really good. Sorry.
Okay.
I feel like at this point I've learned to trust your nose.
It's just, I don't know, it's a nice smell compared to what we've seen upstairs, you know?
No.
I don't know if I trust going in the direction of something that smells vaguely of ham.
I
Obviously, we
trust
should
it
be
with my
careful.
life, actually. I
But-
don't like
There's something there.
I don't like anything about this trapdoor that we've gone through, but I say we go towards the ham, because that is the only comfort right now.
Ned, you're starving. I'm sure you would like some ham.
I haven't eaten in days. And he's like holding his stomach. The rapier that you gave him kind of off to the side. Just
Exactly. So let's help this poor man. Let's get him some ham.
okay. All right. So, you guys head down the hallway. And as you do, the hallway opens up into what looks to be a larger room. And this torchlit chamber that you guys come into was once a no, sorry, not that one. No, I was right. Sorry. This torchlight chamber was once a large cellar, but it has since been converted into a living quarters. There are 10 crude beds that stand against the south wall, each with a wooden locker at its foot. There is a long wooden table that is set kind of in the middle that has a bunch of chairs around it. And you can see that there is a cook stove that is actually installed near the table. And there is evidence of a recently cooked meal as a large ham hangs from a loop of twine nearish a stove. And there is and then you guys are actually coming from this kind of sturdier set of stairs. But as you enter into this room, make perception checks.
You got it.
Okay.
5.
12.
2 plus bad. Wait, no, 6.
I'm more concerned that we literally got drawn into a room where they dangled a ham on a piece of string. That's a literal thing that happened.
12.
Okay, so
Got caught by the ham trap.
you two 12s. So Hish, you and Albus are both distracted by the smell of ham. Hish, you're very excited about this, as you can see this ham dangling near the stove. Albus, you are the opposite of excited about this. You much preferred the fish smell that you had before, and now it's just kind of distracting you, but in a more negative kind of way. But Jill, you and Ulman, looking around this room very quickly. Ulman, as much as you want this ham, you know danger first. And as you look around, you actually see a shadowed figure sitting behind the edge of this long table, crouched down, that then quickly stands up, and you see that he has a bow drawn towards you. I would like for everybody to roll initiative.
Woo!
First order of business is cutting down that ham. That's a 14 for Hish.
Lord.
It's also a 14 for Albus.
Yes. Okay, so we got Hish 14.
Mm-hmm.
Albus 14.
Yeah.
Ulman.
20.
Dang. And Jill.
7. It really took a lot out of me to pay attention.
There was ham. Do you not see this? This figure. Okay.
Smells so good.
For real though, y'all, now I really want some ham.
Ham Thursdays.
Ham Thursday.
Ulman, you are first up. What would you like to do? And you see this figure with his bow drawn towards you.
I want to flick out my knife and rush him.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, he's definitely within rushing distance, so make an attack roll as you get up on this guy.
More specifically, I want to cut his bowstring.
Oh. Okay. Make an attack roll.
20?
Yeah, that'll hit. Roll for damage. Let's see how much you get.
5.
Okay. I will say that you have damaged his bowstring. He is going to have a negative when he uses it, but it has not been completely rended. The string that you strike isn't exactly it's not like hair fibers. There actually seems to be more of like a metal fiber running through the middle. So as you go to cut it, it doesn't get all of the way through, but you know that after a few more pulls of this bow, it's going to be worthless to this individual. And speaking of, it is this guy's turn, and he's pissed. You just attacked his bow? Like, he's kind of confused. He thinks you might have missed, but at the same time, he is not exactly pleased by this. So he's going to pull out a short sword and kind of set the bow aside and begin to try and attack you. So let us see what we got. Does a 15 hit you?
On the nose.
Okay, so that is going to be 5 points of piercing damage. And then his second attack does not hit, because that is going to be a 13 to hit. So that is it for this individual's turn. Next up is going to be Hish and Albus. You guys
Albus, you first. You have the higher dex.
Now, I really think that was quite uncalled for. Why don't you put that thing away? And I really just want to try to like persuade him to like stand down.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Is there any disadvantage on this? Because
yeah, it's definitely going to be a disadvantage.
Okay, well, I have an ability called Psychic Glamour, which would give me advantage on persuasion checks.
Okay.
So I'll just do a straight roll. Ha! 8.
He also got an 8. So the two, like, as you say this, he kind of, like, turns his head to the side and, like, he's worried more about your friend that's directly on him, but he still has his short sword out, but he looks a little bit more hesitant in what he's doing. So it didn't really work, but kinda, maybe.
Cool.
All right, Hish. Unless, Albus, you had any bonus action.
How high?
Sorry.
Would I have an action?
Do you have a bonus
What?
action?
Okay. No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Hish.
How high up is the ham?
The ham rests at about eye level for you because you're 6'8". Like, it is
Perfect.
It is more like chest height on you because it's hanging above the stove, so that way some of the grease is kind of getting coming out of this ham and dripping into the pot.
Perfect. Does it look done?
Make a survival check.
Okay.
Roll for ham.
Roll for ham. 5 + 2, 7.
It doesn't look done.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull it. I'm gonna pull it down.
Okay. Yeah. We can say that's your interaction.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay. So yes, you have procured some meat. It's quite big,
Yeah, I think-
too. It's
I think
pretty hefty.
Hish kind of turns around with the ham towards Ulman and holds it up like, I got it. That's it. That's my turn.
Okay. So then next up is Jill.
I think at this point Jill's just a little like confused because like just the state of everything. So she's just like, what? Why do you have the ham? And I think as she's looking at Hish and talking, she's readying Toll the Dead in case this dude attacks again. So I'm gonna hold my action.
Okay, sounds good. So it is at this point that you see two individuals come up from underneath the table, and one of them looks at this at the guy with the short sword and just, come the fuck on, Garrett, they're stealing our food! And they are going to rush over at one is going to rush over at Hish because you have the ham, and then the other is going to strike out against Ulman because Ulman, you are the closest, and you have a knife out at his friend, and he saw you try and make an attack earlier. So, let us see. We have
Can
on
I impose
Hish.
disadvantage on him?
Yes, you can. So Hish, I am going to guess that a 6 doesn't hit you.
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, a 6 also does not hit you, Ulman. Sounds good. So that is it for the two of them. But when one of them yells at this other individual that has been revealed to be named Garrett, he kind of like shakes his head like, oh yeah, you guys are stealing my food. What the fuck? And he is once again back into the fight. But Ulman, you are at the top.
I look at him and I say, If you put down your weapon, we won't harm you. Perhaps there was some hasty stealing. I was only looking to disarm you.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
12.
He got a 17 on the die, so he's not hearing you out. You guys took their ham, man. This is not okay. If you thought Ghosts of Saltmarsh was about ghosts or sailing, you were wrong. We found the true ending. All right, so Ulman, do you have a bonus action that you would like to do? Because trying to talk to this guy, that is going to be your 6-second action.
Negatory.
Okay, sounds good. So it is the dude with the short sword's turn. As his other friends that showed up had more of like a curved scimitar-like blade, and he is going to then try and strike out against you, Ulman. And...
After that, my spell will go off.
Okay. So he is going to attack. So I'm going to say you had the prepared spell. You see him swinging his sword. Your spell fires off.
Okay. Yeah, she's probably like looking at Hish, just like, what? Why are you taking the ham? Looks over, just like, oh no, we're not doing that. It's just going to set off Toll the Dead.
Okay. So he
which
needs
is
some
a wisdom save.
So I am going to guess that a 14 beats your save.
Oh, that's what he needs.
Okay, sounds good. All right, yeah. So he is not deterred at all from making his attack on Ulman. So Ulman, the first attack was a 9. I'm guessing that doesn't hit you. The second attack was a 17.
Yes.
Okay. So that is going to be for 3 points of piercing damage.
Oof.
Okay. Still up. Next up is Albus.
Is Ned in initiative?
He is, but he is oh right, because you guys wanted him to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he currently is he will go after you.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that, so I'll roll him in. My bad.
I need who just attacked Ulman?
The dude with the short sword that previously had the bow.
Garrett?
Yes, Garrett.
Okay.
Garrett.
I need Garrett to make a wisdom save.
Okay. That
As
is
I cast Vicious Mockery.
a 14. Garrett's wise AF. Okay.
Cool.
All right, Hish, it is your turn. You have a bandit up on you who currently tried to attack you with a scimitar and didn't do much. You kind of leaned away with the ham and he wasn't able to stab at you.
Mm-hmm. So I think with one hand, Hish is going to be keeping the ham above his head, like keep away. And with the other hand, he's going to lash out with his own scimitar.
Okay.
And try and slice him across the belly.
All right, sounds good. So you are frightened, so you do have disadvantage on all your ability checks.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Never mind. Okay, that's an 8 plus 7.
Oh,
That's a 2 plus 7.
oh yeah. The 2
That's a
plus
9.
7 does not.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you I mean, you just had dudes show up from under a table to try and accost you. You're distracted by ham. You're kind of scared right now. The ham is the comfort food that you needed. And now they're asking for it back. There's just a lot.
I'm trying to keep the ham in the air. It's hard.
Yeah, it's more, at this point, you're just doing like flashy swordplay to convince him that you are dangerous, but the ham is aloft. And that is the important part. So then next up is Ned's turn. And he is going to rush up to the bandit that tried to attack Ulman, and he's going to attempt to rapier the bandit in the back. And he... Fucking Ned. He got a... he did not get enough to be able to hit it. He got a 10. Not doing it for old Neddy boy. And then he
Does he have flanking with me in any way?
I do not really use flanking that much,
cool.
But for your purposes, as a rogue with sneak attack, you now have an ally within 5 feet of an enemy.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll just keep in mind that if someone else is attacking my enemy, I probably can roll sneak attack.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you tell me no.
Yes. I will always let you know. Sneak attack is if you have a buddy that's within 5 feet, or if you have advantage on the attack against them, which is good. So then next up is going to be Jill. What would you like to do? There are now 3 individuals all here, all with weapons drawn, trying to attack your friends, except Albus, who is just like hanging in the back, speaking gibberish to himself.
Jill's just like, seriously, all this for a ham? But she's going to take out her warhammer and is going to attack the first dude that has been there the longest.
Okay. Sounds good.
Let's see. What is my modifier for this? Okay. 12.
Okay. So I believe a 12 does not hit, actually. You go to swing down with your warhammer, and and Garrett just very clearly dodges out of the way, seeing your long wind up before the strike. Next up is, unless you had a bonus action that you would like to do.
Nah.
Okay. So then next up are going to be these 2 bandits. One of them is going to continue trying to strike out at Hish, as you are the ham thief. And this guy was the one who was just like, they're stealing our food, what the fuck? So he seems the most invested. And he gets a 7. I'm guessing that doesn't hit you. And then Ulman, you are also going to get struck at again, as this figure like looks back and sees Ned, but Ned is just like doesn't really have the best grasp on the situation, and they get a 6 against you. So I'm going to assume that that does not hit.
I'm so worried here.
Okay,
I'm at 2 HP.
Oh my god. All right, so next up, Ulman, it is your turn.
Well, I just gotta do it to him, I guess, don't I? I drop a dagger out of my sleeve, and I attack him.
Okay.
Twice.
Do it.
Does 24 hit?
For sure. Are you attacking Garrett or the guy that was in the middle?
Garrett.
Okay.
And 13?
All right. 13 points of damage.
No, 13 to hit.
Oh, okay. 13 just hits.
So that's 11 points of damage.
Okay. Garrett is looking mighty fucked up right now. Doesn't have a whole lot left in him.
And then 7.
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely take down Garrett with the 7.
I grab him by the shoulder and I just insert the blade into both jugulars.
Oh my god. Just quick dual stab. All right. I'm down for it. Peace out,
It's
Garrett.
just him! We can go
Okay,
to
he
the
has stabbed
store!
me for 8 health. He is a danger to me.
All right, so it is going to be Ned's turn. And you see him reach into his waistband, like underneath his pant line. Clearly, he's reaching into his own underpants. At least you can see this, Ulman. And when he pulls it out, you see that there is a small green vial. And he pops the cork off, runs it down the length of the rapier. And then he will actually pivot around the bandit that he tried attacking last turn, and he is going to try and stab out against you. And as he does, he just says, Garrett never should have been in charge of holding the corridor, and tries to stab out at you. Seems like a quick betrayal, mayhaps. Fucking Ned!
No ham for Ned.
Not one. So...
Does he drop my rapier?
No, he does not. But Ulman, this is like you've read books about how to swashbuckle 101, and this is like step 2 is how to do a quick pivot with a rapier. Like, you see this coming a mile away, dodge out of the way, no problem.
Can't touch me.
Next up, Hish and Albus.
I was gonna do this thing where I just took the ham with the mage hand and ran out, but I see that not only have the tables turned, but so is our guy turned his cloak. So I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Okay.
I'm gonna need him to make a wisdom save.
So you know how people always have like success stories about rolling 2 nat 20s in a row?
Mm-hmm.
This is the opposite of that. This is I rolled another nat 1, so
Ned was not meant to live.
no.
This is what you get for turning code on us.
Okay, so this is going to be 12 points of psychic damage,
Okay.
and he must immediately use his reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
He's for
As
sure doing that.
Would Ulman be able to get an attack of opportunity on him?
I don't believe that forced movement provokes an attack of opportunity, but spells normally say, like, with the fear condition, like, oh, you can't make an attack. So I will say yes for Ulman.
18?
18 will hit. Roll for damage.
And what he hears in his mind as you roll for damage is, you've just made a horrible mistake, my friend.
11 damage.
Okay. How do you drop Ned? Like, he gets this very wide look in his eyes, and as he tries to run away, you are going to be dealing the finishing blow.
I just chuck my dagger at the back of his head.
Okay. So as he's running, just a very quick shoot dagger out from underneath your sleeve, and Ned just falls to the ground, no longer moving. Alrighty. So that is it for Ned. So Hish, there are 2 bandits still. Ned quickly turned coat and then turned to dead. So he's not even in the picture anymore.
Less ham to share. Perfect. You said there was a table nearby, right?
Yes, there's a large table.
Is it like right next to me, or would I have to disengage in order to get up on the table?
You could get up on the table and still be within 5 feet, I would say.
Okay, yeah. So Hish is gonna jump up on the table and then so he can kind of lower the ham a little bit and then stab downward at one of the bandits attacking him.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
17 plus 7, I assume that hits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yay! That's 13 damage.
He was doing like grabby hands trying to get at it for a while. You slay him in 1 hit. What, like, you stab down on him, your sword sinks in, and his hand is like still up trying to reach the ham, and with the last bits of life that he has kind of pulling back, just, it was honeyed, it wasn't fish. Like, he just collapses onto the ground.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so there is now only 1 bandit left. Jill, it is your turn.
Wow, the situation has changed so drastically from okay. Yeah, we're just gonna warhammer it up. I'm gonna go over there and smash this dude's facing. That's gonna be a 16.
Yeah, that'll hit. Roll for damage.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. That's going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. So this guy takes the brunt of this damage, and holding his sides, he looks at Ulman, who just stabbed somebody twice in the neck, threw a dagger, killed Ned. Then Hish, one shot, one kill on his other party member, and he just looks at the four of you and says, oh, fuck this, it isn't worth it! And with his action, he's going to disengage and just start running back down the hallway that you guys were in. He is going to be running. He is going to be running by you, Jill, as well as you, Albus, as he makes his way, and you just hear him begin running down that hallway.
This is a great decision on your part.
All right. So, Ulman, you were at the top. Are you just like, that's fine, let him run?
Of course.
All right.
If the man wants to get out of a bad situation, he doesn't want to be on our bad side, he should leave.
Albus, it's your turn.
I don't have a weapon drawn.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to mockery him or anything, so...
I don't have the feat for that.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, because he's just in the hallway. I'm meaning you're up in the initiative tracker if you did want to do anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I want to do that.
Okay, cool.
I need to make a wits save.
Okay, just wanted to check. This guy is way better than Ned and rolled a nat 20 on his wisdom save. So he hears that deep voice in his mind as he continues to run, but man, he is just gone.
I will find you.
Yuck. Hish, you are on the table surrounded by dead men and your party, but you have this large honeyed ham to yourself.
I eat it.
Okay. Just start eating.
Can I have some, please?
No, I think Hish gets down from the table, and he's gonna like slam it onto the table, and he's gonna use I don't know, like he has like his scimitar or like maybe just his hand. He's gonna start tearing off chunks of ham to eat for everyone.
Hand is probably a good option. Make a perception check.
Sure.
Yeah.
Won't
There
stop
are
me, but sure.
possibly like 6 more men here.
I'd like to
Well,
pick up
that's
my rapier.
2 + 4, that's another 6 for perception.
Okay, yeah, you don't see any chef's tools or anything like that you could use to properly cut said ham, so hands it is. And you just start going to town on it. You pick up your rapier, Albus. It actually has a thin layer of poison still on it.
Neat.
Yeah, so you have a poisoned rapier for now until you use said poison. But yeah, you guys are now out of combat. Hish is just grabbing hams,
Who
pulling
wants
it apart.
ham?
Ulman is all
thank
about
you.
this ham.
I want ham!
I'm gonna go over to Ned's body and see what else he has on him.
All right. Yeah, you start looting Ned. And as you do, his dumb luck, he doesn't have anything on him. It looked like he literally only had that small vial of poison, and that was it. He didn't even have a weapon.
You've got to be kidding me. She's just gonna like unceremoniously like dump his corpse to the ground and just be like, I'll have a go with the ham.
All right.
I'll just keep looking around the room then.
Okay. So Albus, make a investigation check. And you guys can have a short rest while this happens if you want. Just enjoying this ham rest.
7.
I am...
Okay. Yeah, so with a 7, as you look around, you see towards the back of this room that there are 2 doors. One that faces north, that leads to what looks to be a small room, and then the other wall, just kind of, again, to the eastern side of this room. This door has a wooden bar in front of it, and the words scrawled on it in white chalk. Danger.
It would appear that there's danger this way. Oh, Is everyone all right?
I'm fine.
Um,
Ham's actually pretty good.
I need some health. I'm not feeling so
Yeah,
well.
so
How do I spend a thing?
So a
for
hit die.
Getting health on a short rest.
You are a D8 class as a rogue, so roll a D8, add your Constitution modifier, and that is how much health you regain.
I can't find my hit dice on the D&D Beyond sheet.
Yeah, that's what I was looking.
If
You have to go to the actual short rest tab, and it will tell you.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so I only have one. Oh, I'm a D10. That's cool. Plus 4. So 8. Perfect.
Jill, while you were investigating the body of Ned, make a perception check as you do.
Oh. Come on,
something.
Ned. Have something good. 24.
So you saw Ulman throw his hand out and that knife sink directly into the back of Ned's head. But as you're investigating the body, there is no knife there.
Ulman, didn't you throw a knife into this gentleman's head?
Yes, I did.
Did you, manage to pick it up sometime
I
in
grabbed
the
it.
battle? You sure?
Yeah, right after the guy was running.
Okay.
And I drop a dagger out of my sleeve. See?
Oh, I guess I must have missed that. She's still just gonna be looking at the corpse, just kind of like weird.
Yep.
Just like,
Yeah. So yeah, you guys managed to go through your short rest without any issue. You can all spend hit die and gain back health, and any abilities that were spent on a short rest all end up coming back. And Albus is just having some mental pain, as he typically does.
Albus is very spent. No one else gets healing. No one else gets Galaxy Brain.
All right.
One person can get Galaxy Brain.
Yeah, Hish is just chorfing ham. For strength.
I think when we make it through all the ham, because I think that entire ham gets eaten.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
I reassess the room. How many exits are there? besides
There
the hallway?
are 3 exits total, including the one that you guys came in from. You can see that there is a door to the east and then another door that leads to what appears to be a small room that is kind of adjacent to this one.
And Albus, what did you find?
There was a door that said obvious danger. Well, it said danger. But it seems very obvious that there was danger.
Do we look behind the danger door?
I was going to wait until you all rested up.
Oh, I'm feeling much better.
Then, yes, by all means, let's go straight towards the danger.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys go over and lift up this wooden bar that is currently placed in front of the danger door. And you can see that it is you can pull the door open. And when you do, looking inside of this room, you see it's very dim. There's not a whole lot of actual light in here. But instead, the light is spilling from the room behind you where this nice hearth is. And you see that this room is about 12 feet across, and the corners are filled with shadows. And as the light ends up reaching into the back of this room, you can actually see that there are what look to be about 6 piles, each that have a little bit of a glint to them, that you, Ulman, would recognize to be the glint of gold. However, as you guys are all kind of peeking and looking into this room, make perception checks.
I'm rolling hot tonight. 6.
That's 22.
19.
Okay. And Hish, you are no longer afraid because that effect lasted for an hour, and a short rest is about an hour. So we had a 18, we had a 6, and then Jill, what'd you have?
22.
22. Okay. And Ulman?
19.
Okay, so everybody except for Albus, looking into this room, actually begins to see these piles that are placed throughout the room steadily begin to rattle, and then you start seeing shapes begin standing up until eventually you see what looks to be 6 of these skeletal shapes, each that have one of their rib bones completely coated in gold. And they creak their head towards the lot of you, and one of their jaws just kind of unhinges a little bit, and they begin to start shambling towards you, and they begin moving very quickly, but not so quickly that they will be directly on you. You guys have a little bit of time to be able to act. What would you like to do?
Slam that door shut.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys slam the door shut and put the bar back on, and you just start hearing what sounds like clawed, bony fingers just wrapping themselves against the door.
Well,
Sorry, what was that?
And they begin to start dragging down the side of the door as well, and you can even see visible just from the wood bending as these creatures kind of smash against it with their bony hands.
Oh, it was actual danger.
Yes, the danger has been located.
The rib. What was with the ribs?
They were gold, I believe.
Why?
Hish, you know from a roll you made last week that this house actually used to be the lair of a fabled alchemist, that, or at least famous within the general region of Saltmarsh. So organic things turning to gold, that sounds pretty similar to what an alchemist might do, but there are still 6 skeletons on the other side of this door.
I mean, I don't know. It could be some weird alchemy thing. Either way, they're gold, which means...
Do you think we're in shape to rattle them before they rattle us?
Yes, I think we're in good shape to rattle their bones. We just had ham.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I take off my bag and I reach in and I pull out a light mace.
That's the spirit.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps maybe if there's some way we can use this door to create some sort of funneling effect. So perhaps we won't be, all of them come out at once. We could take on one at a time. Is there a way we could do that?
Like, open it and then close it right after. I mean, as long as we can get them separated. I mean, at worst comes to worst, we close a skeleton in a door.
Or like stick something heavy and just like have the door slightly ajar so only one can come through at a time.
Yes, something like that.
Or Ulman and I can hold the door.
Well, I figured your talents would be better suited to, dispatching of the skeletons.
I can do either.
What if we took the door off its hinges, turned it horizontal, and used it to block the door halfway while we beat up the skeletons?
I don't know about that one.
I don't like the timing of that.
I kind of like it.
That's a lot of variables.
You can just hear them
If you just-
bony slapping directly at the door behind you guys as you were talking.
If we just maybe slam into one side of the door and just push it off of its... and push it into position. I feel like Ulman's plan could work.
Well, we can certainly try it.
Hish is gonna body slam part of the door in the attempt to kind of push it as a block.
Okay. Are you removing the wooden bar that's on there to like
Yes,
keep...
I.
Okay. So as you move up this bar, you see the door is beginning to open up, and you hear these noises as these skeletons just begin trying to push the door in. I would like for you to make an athletics check.
You got it. There's a 15 plus 7.
Okay. So you are trying.
Let's go.
So you were trying to push this door as a block, like push it forward.
So I think what we were trying to do is I'm trying to body slam one side of it so that it'll like pivot and get stuck and create a funnel. But if it just falls down, I guess that also works.
Okay, because the door is for you guys, it would be a pull out, so it's very hard to find that pivot position. It would need to have like a center point to kind of turn that way. But yeah, you guys can totally bust down the door with your high enough athletics check. That's not going to be an issue at all. So the door comes crashing inward. Two of these skeletons are going to get pinned underneath, and you can see that there are 4 more that are beginning to scramble out towards you guys. I would like for everybody to roll initiative.
Oops.
Bet you never expected that, skeletons!
This isn't what I had in mind, but okay.
That's a 10 for Hish.
Okay.
12 for Ulman.
And Hish, sorry, what did you say you got? In 10?
10.
Okay. Jill.
Albus, did you also get 10? I swear.
No.
I got a 9.
I got a 3.
Oh my
I
god.
rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
Ooh, we are great.
Okay, so that is good. So Ulman, you're at the top of the round.
Oh.
There are 4 of these skeletons that are just kind of shambling towards you, and you can see that they each have just this gold rib bone on them.
I want to smash my mace through the ribs of the closest one.
Okay. Make an attack
Targeting
roll.
for that gold one as well, specifically.
Sounds good.
Are light maces considered light weapons? They have light in the name.
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I assume.
Then 19.
Okay. Yeah, so a 19 will hit. Roll for damage. At least I assume a light mace.
Light mace even a D6? I should have looked this up.
There's a light hammer, but not a light mace. But the
That's
light
what I
hammer,
want.
so the
That's
light
what I
hammer
intended.
is same as a dagger. It's 1d4, and it does have the light property, so you're good.
Then 8 damage.
Okay, so as your hammer connects with it, you watch as there is this magical effect that actually seems to shimmer off of it. And normally you feel like the hammer would be the best way to go about breaking down skellies. But as it hits, you actually knock this golden rib bone out of the creature's rib cage, and it still just kind of maintains its footing and then hobbles back up. It doesn't seem like it did as much damage as you were expecting, but still a decent bit. So then next up is going to be Hish.
I want to punch its head off.
Okay. Do it.
I fell on the floor. Well, it was a 4, so... Or 11. Does an 11 hit? Because I have a plus 7.
An 11 does not hit.
Boo. I don't punch. I punch right over it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so then next up is going to be Jill.
I would like to cast Toll the Dead on the one that Ulman hit.
Okay. This is a wise fucking skelly. You got a 15.
Boo! Wow, I am the worst cleric. I can't cast spells.
All right. Next up, you hear just this as the door underneath you, Ulman, is trying to get pushed up. And one of these skellies is going to actually bring up his hand, and he's going to try and gouge out against your leg. So, does a 16 hit?
It sure does.
Okay, that is going to be 4 points of piercing damage as his bony fingers sink right into your leg. And then the next one is going to try also to reach out and stab at you. You got a 10 though, so I don't think that's going to be the case.
And did you say that initial one was 3?
Yes. Or it was 4 points. Sorry. Okay, so next up, Albus.
Closest skeleton, I wanted to make a wisdom save.
Okay. It gets a 4. So I hope this works.
I'm a viciously mock it for 4 points of psychic damage.
Okay. And again, as your vicious mockery goes out to this skelly, you watch as this magical effect sort of shimmers on it and then dissipates. And you did 4 points of damage?
Yep.
Okay.
And it will have disadvantage on its next attack.
Sounds good. So the closest skelly was one of the ones that was trapped under the door. Did you want to do that, or did you want to use? Did you want to do it on a standing skelly?
One of the ones, if there's any of them that haven't gone in combat yet.
Okay, there are 4 of them that have not.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay, cool. So, sounds good. Then next up are these 4 skellies that are going to then start trudging forward, seeing that Hish and Ulman have kind of blocked this doorway. And then, Jill, you had kind of come in to try, or no, you cast Toll the Dead on one. Yeah, so both you and Ulman are in the back, Hish, or you and Albus are in the back. Ulman, you and Hish are in the front. So Ulman, does a 18 hit you?
Yee.
Okay. So that is going to be for 7 points of piercing damage as the skeleton swings down with his short sword.
I am unconscious.
Okay.
Oh god, no.
Sounds good. So, you watch as Ulman just falls down to the ground, having been accosted by these skellies. And the next one is going to come for you, Hish. Does an 18 hit?
It does.
Okay. That is going to be for 7 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
And you watch as these other 2 skeletons are stuck behind the first 2 that are currently trying to get at you. So your plan of funneling them did work, as you are kind of just making sure to take up the majority of this door frame. But your friend Ulman is still on the ground. Next up at the top of the round, Ulman, I'm going to need you to make a death saving throw. You're muted, but in order to do a death save, just roll a d20. You are looking for 10 or better.
That was a nat 20.
Okay, so you actually come back at 1 HP. What would you like to do on your turn?
I want to roll backwards.
Okay.
And disengage.
All right, you can disengage as a bonus action as a rogue. So if there's any action that you would like to do as well, you can do that as well.
Albus, do you still have that healing potion?
I never had a healing potion.
Ulman, it's in my pocket.
All right.
Okay. Sounds good. So,
can you throw that to me? And I want to prepare to catch it.
okay.
Aren't you right next to me? Because we're both in the front.
Yeah, you popped up right next to Hish, so you can just snatch it.
To, snatch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Take it out of my pocket.
So yeah, then
It's all
disengage, roll back, uncork, and just drain this fucking thing.
And what are lights in this system? They're not D8, right?
No, it is 2d4 plus 2. Yes.
That's correct.
Cool, I'm back to full at 10 exactly.
Nice. That's what's up. That's a very the potion has a very fruity flavor to it as well, so as you kind of drain this, it actually pairs really well with the ham. Who would have thought?
Oh, that's nice on the palate.
That's a 10. Hish, it is your turn.
I would yeah, I'd like to try to punch its head
Okay.
off once again.
Sounds good.
God. 6 plus 7.
That is enough. Roll for damage.
Thank God,
For
I don't have to. It's
a-
just 6 damage.
Okay, so just 6. And you watch as this figure kind of reels back, this skeleton does, after coming into contact from your punch, and you watch as this small magical effect just bursts off of it. Almost what looks to be like if you set like in movies when they set books down on very dusty places and you just watch that cloud of dust kind of come off of these skellies as you make contact with it. Do you have a bonus action that you would like to do?
I do not.
Okay.
Wait. Yes. I would like to use my bonus action to use Second Wind and regain some health.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Well, that's... Oh, wait. No, that's 10. That's 11. Yes. So I do it. I did it.
Oh man, you got a bunch back. You're fine.
I'm good.
Oh yeah. All right, so then next up is going to be Jill.
I will try and toll the dead on the skelly that Hish just made go poof.
Okay. It gets a 9. So, it is already injured.
Yay!
Roll for your toll.
I must roll the toll. 6
Okay.
necrotic damage.
Okay, so as this ringing echoes inside of this skeleton's skull, you just watch it begin to shake and its body kind of jitters a little bit, and you watch his bones just begin to fall off of it and it collapses down onto the floor, no longer moving.
Finally. Success.
All right. So then next up is the 2 skeletons that are currently under the door, and they are going to try and just move their hands up to get at Hish if possible. One is going to get a 17 to hit, and the other is going to get a 17 to hit.
That also... Yes.
All right, so the first one sinks into your upper thigh and deals 7 points of piercing damage.
Thank God.
And then the second one is going to kind of like crawl out or claw out and try and hit your leg as well, and it is going to do 5 points of damage.
Cool fun. Cool fun.
Okay, that is it for those 2. Albus, it is your turn.
So what's the situation? How many skeletons are still
There are
up?
currently 5. 2 are trapped underneath the door, and 3 are still on their feet.
Is Ulman currently fighting one?
No, Ulman rolled back, drained his health potion, and he's actually behind Hish now. Hish currently has 4 skeletons on them. The 2 beneath the door, as well as others that are making their way forward.
Right. Hish, you're getting Galaxy Brain.
Yes.
And then I'm going to viciously mock one of the skeletons around Hish.
Okay. It gets an 8 on its wisdom save. Is this one that you did damage to before, or is this a different one?
I hope so. The one that I did damage to
Okay,
before.
cool. Got it. Just wanted to check.
1 point of psychic damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
And disadvantage on sex attack.
Alrighty. So that one is going to then actually try and strike out against you, Hish, but disadvantage on the attack. That is a 17 to hit on disadvantage.
Cool.
All right. And it is going to deal 7 points of damage to you.
So I would like to use Restless Endurance
Okay.
to drop to 1 HP.
All right. Sounds good. And then next up is 2 more skeletons. And one of them is actually going to begin walking past you, Hish, and start moving to the other 3 that are currently in the back and getting close to... it sees... Ulman, you are closer to these other 2, so versus Jill and Albus, so it is going to try and strike out against you with a short sword.
If he's moving past me, do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yes.
I would like to punch him in the sternum.
Do it.
Crap.
Reroll. If it's not on the table, it doesn't count.
I will use a different one because I can't find it. 12 plus 7.
Okay. Yeah, that'll definitely hit. Roll for damage. Or no, that's 6, so... Yeah, it looks like it takes a chunk of that damage as it just kind of gets rattled walking past you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is it for its turn. And then the last one that seems to still be standing and moving is also going to try and strike out against you, Hish, seeing as how you are right in its way. And it is not going to hit. It got a 3 on the dice.
I don't think you actually attacked me with the skeleton
Didn't I?
after the attack of op.
Oh, you are correct. Thank you. All right, so that is a modified 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that is going to be 4 points of piercing damage.
Cuckoo.
Okay, so next up is Ulman.
I am going to reach into my bag again with my other hand and pull out another light hammer.
Okay.
And I'm going to just swing one up into the skeleton's jaw.
Okay, sounds good.
Is 23 hit?
Oh, totally. His dice escaped as well.
12?
This thing gets blasted. As you raise your light hammer up, its head just goes spinning. And as you're watching this body kind of fall to the ground and look back at all these other skeletons making their way out of the room, the 4 of you hear a very satisfying sploosh as you look back over and you see that this skull has landed in the soup pot that you guys left and is currently just sinking into the soup. But yes, that skelly is super dead.
That felt great. Wonder if you could make that a sport.
All right. You have anything else that you would like to do?
Is there another skeleton within reach?
Not directly within reach, but there are currently 3 over by Hish.
Can I don't have a... Or I only attack once, so I do have a move still? Or was drawing from my bag a move?
Drawing from your bag was an interaction. You still have your full movement. You used your attack action, and now you have a bonus action. But because you have a light weapon in your offhand, you would be able to make a offhand attack as well.
But I'm not in range to do that, so I need to...
Yeah, you would have to move up if you would like to. Or you can throw it.
Oh, I can do both.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then I'll move up and attack whichever one I was attacking before.
Okay. Sounds good. The one that you attacked before ate shit and died. So
And whatever next target is down the list.
okay. So there are 2 that are still currently trapped underneath this door because Hish is a big boy and is full of ham and keeping the door down, and they don't exactly have like very much strength to push the door back.
Can I slam at one of their hands then?
Yeah, totally can.
Cool. Does 20 hit?
A 20 does hit.
8 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so as you clank down with your hammer, you watch as again this kind of like burst of dust comes out of this creature, but it seems to deal a significant amount of damage still. So then next up is going to be a voice that you guys hear. And from the back of the room, you see a door push open and a head tilts out and then looks into the room. And what you see before you is a hunched corpse wearing a pointed hat that and is dressed in a robe embroidered with mystic symbols that crosses through this door. There are thin wisps of a beard that are still on this creature's face that kind of list down, and it raises a finger, tracing a circle into the air. And as it does, you see this point of magic begin on one of its fingers, and as it traces, you watch as this circle appears and stays in. And as it leans in to the circle, it speaks, and you hear, "Secrets found and lost and found again. Your paltry minds cannot fathom." And as it says that, the magic dissipates, and it just continues kind of wagging its finger towards you. And you see it reach into its robes and pull out what looks to be a small ceramic pot, and he is going to throw it in your general direction. And you watch as this pot flies forward, sailing through the air, and lands at the edge of the door. At the edge of the door that you would push down, Hish. And you watch as this kind of boiling, bubbling acid just begins to seep down the side of the door and falls on one of the skeletons that was underneath it. And it starts moving its head back and forth as you watch as the skeleton just dies under the door, seemingly as an accident. And you see this blue wispy bearded figure just like raises his hands up, reaches in, and he's going to try and throw another vial out towards you.
Is there any way for me to catch it?
Make a dexterity. I'll say either a dex save or sleight of hand, whichever is better for you.
Listen, neither is good.
And you do have Galaxy Brain currently.
So I would like to use that Galaxy Brain once I make this roll. Well, that's a 3.
Even with Galaxy Brain?
No, not with Galaxy Brain. That's a 7 with Galaxy Brain.
Okay. So as you go to grab it, you begin to fumble with your hands, and you watch as the pot slips out of your fingers and then tumbles down onto the ground, missing the other skeleton that didn't get melted, and just lands on the floor, and you just hear a very satisfying as the acid begins to eat into the stone. So then next up is Hish.
Oh, okay. So how many skeletons are still around me?
So there is a total of 3, including one underneath the door, and then you just saw this very mystical looking skeleton emerge out of a secret door in the back.
Can I jump on the door to crush the skeleton?
Yes. Yes, you can. I'm going to just say yes because that's fucking awesome. So make a athletics check.
And plus 7, 17.
Okay, roll a d8 and add your strength modifier.
That's a 12. I don't want that one. This one's an 8. 3 plus 5, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage.
With a very, very satisfying crunch, the door is no longer propped up on several skeleton bodies and is instead flush with the ground, only slightly above, as you have just crunched down on these two skeletal bodies. And you watch as the one that had been trying to get you and had gotten your calf, his head just rolls back across the ground, the force kind of propelling it into the dark room.
Big crunch.
Big crunch. So, next up, Jill. You see that there are 2 skeletons left, as well as this pointy hat, wispy bearded skeleton, which looks like this guy.
Oh,
I like him.
I don't.
I like his hat.
Okay. Are there skeletons in the way of me getting to pointy-hatted skeleton?
Yes, the 2 that are still in the room. There's no direct line that you wouldn't have to weave around these other skellies to.
Okay, that's a problem. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to I'm gonna toll another skelly.
Dude.
Hopefully one that's taken damage.
Yeah,
possible.
There is one that has taken damage. He got a 2.
Yeah, get fucked. With 10 points of necrotic
Holy
damage.
Shit. Yeah, same verse as the first. You watch as this skeleton just begins to kind of rattle and shimmer, and just kind of like shiver, shake, and then just crumples down onto the ground in a pile of bones, no longer moving. Now there are only 2 skellies, one of which that has this fancy hat and the other that has a golden bone still in them. That has been seemingly untouched throughout this entire combat. So, next up is Albus.
I would like to viciously mock the wizard skeleton.
Okay.
I need a wisdom save.
Okay. Sounds good. So his wisdom save is get stat block because the way that I had it set up earlier didn't work. So that is going to be a 12.
You needed a 13.
Ooh boy. Roll for damage.
3.
Okay.
I'm so good.
Getting it. All right.
So he'll have disadvantage on one of his attacks next turn.
Alrighty.
And what I'm doing with this is I'm not. I'd like to think that I'm not like mocking the skeleton. I'm more like poking at whatever magical force is keeping them together and trying to like tug at it.
Okay. Sounds good. So then next up, Ulman. Or no, there was one skeleton left. Sorry. And then that one skeleton is going to then begin shambling forward, seeing as Ulman, you have returned with Hish, and is going to try and swipe out at you, Ulman.
At me?
Yes.
I would like to impose disadvantage on this man.
Okay. Hish, make a perception check.
You got it. That's a 19 plus 4.
All right, so Ulman, how do you impose disadvantage on this creature attacking you?
You see, I like look it in the eye and I like wiggle for a second, and then my face briefly appears as its face, and it looks at me confused, and then it's gone.
I look at you confused.
So yeah, it got a 12 to hit you, so it does not come in contact. So Ulman, it is your turn.
Cool. I'd like to smash 2 hammers into this boy.
Okay.
19?
Yeah, that'll hit.
Then 7 damage.
Okay. And that was with sneak attack because you have a friend within 5. Okay.
Yes, it was. And then 18 to hit.
Alrighty, sounds good. 18 will hit.
Then 9 more damage.
Okay. Yeah, this creature just shatters down onto the ground. And all that's left is just this very decrepit looking skelly wearing his hat. And he reaches into his robes again and pulls out these 2 ceramic pots and is going to throw one at you, Hish, and one at you, Ulman. So the one for Ulman is going to be
Disadvantage.
Yes. It was going to be an 8, but disadvantage is good nonetheless. And then towards you, Hish, he is going to throw another. And that is going to be a 10 to hit.
That just hits.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that is going to be 9 points of acid damage.
So I'm down.
Okay. As this acid just splashes onto this cloak that you were wearing and kind of burns through, cloak is ruined. It was already like not looking the best, but there is just a big acid mark on it.
Man.
Next up is Hish. I'd like for you to make a death saving throw.
Roll that. Oops, save. Here we go. That is a 9.
All right. So that is a fail. Jill.
Yep. So I'm gonna run over to Hish, and I'm going to kneel down to him and cast Spare the Dying,
Nice.
like a good cleric would.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you have any bonus actions?
I do not. I'm just gonna stand back up and ready my shield.
All right. Sounds good. Next up, Albus.
I'm really gonna need you to stop that viciously mockery.
He is viciously mocked. Roll for damage.
Vicious Macarena 1.
Vicious Macarena. Okay. That is the song that it would be too. Like, you're not trying to like hurt him or mock him specifically, but you are just sending a counter to the magical forces that is just, hey Macarena, 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 just steadily play.
The Macarena is actually in deep speech. But yeah, one point of psychic damage and disadvantage on the next attack.
Okay. Ulman, it is your turn.
I want to charge and tackle that Skeleboy.
Okay. Yeah, that is going to be a athletics check versus his athletics or acrobatics. Which, being a skeleton,
Natural 20.
I'm gonna see if I also natural 20. Nope, I didn't. Yeah. So you watch as Ulman just rushes forward and spear tackles the skeleton down onto the ground.
Never fear!
All right. So it is this creature's turn, and it is just going to look at you and just its blue wispy beard again, just kind of hanging off of his skeletal face. His hat has been knocked off, and you just see that there is. It almost looks like male pattern baldness, but just with like blue wispies on his head. And he is going to try and
ghost hair.
Yeah, he has ghost hair, and he is going to try and claw at you. He does not get that with a 9, and he had disadvantage, so yeah, with a 9, so he is not doing well. Hish, you are currently unconscious at 0. So Jill, it is your turn.
Okay. I want to run over to where Ulman and the Skelebro are. Can I get into his pockets?
I'm gonna say yes. 'Cause he's currently on the ground. He has been tackled. He's like knocked prone. With Ulman kind of like right above him, because Ulman, you did not make yourself prone in order to do this. But yeah, he's just. So yeah, you'd be able to reach into his pockets and start rooting around.
Yeah, I want to get into those ghostly pockets.
Okay. What are you looking for? Just trying to grab some of his vials?
I'm trying to grab some of those pots.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
All right. Give me your fucking pots. 15.
Okay. Yeah, you reach in and rifle around really quick, and then you pull out these 2 small ceramic pots.
Cool. I want to drop one on his face.
All right. I would say that you used your action to root around in his pocket, but if you just wish to drop an item, that is an interaction, and you are right above him. So yeah, you could drop one of these onto his face in the hopes that it works. So rather than you making an attack roll, he is going to be making a dexterity save to try and position himself out of the way, as you are not purposely like spiking a pot of acid onto his face. And he got a 13, which I will say, like, you're just dropping it on him, so a 13 would pass because that's like a 12, like a 10 or a 12. So he just kind of rolls out of the way as this acid pot smashes onto the ground beside him. Just
I'll just hold still.
all right,
That's my turn.
Albus, it is your turn.
Vicious mockery.
Okay. He fails.
Mocking intensifies.
Mocking intensifies. 3 points of psychic damage.
Okay. Macarena intensifies. All right, sounds good. So yeah, more of this infernal, this deep speech sound rattles around in this Skelly's head, and he does not like it. Ulman, it is your turn. He is currently prone because of your push attack, so you any direct attacks, any melee attacks do have advantage.
You ever heard of a xylophone?
Yes.
I get down on my knees. And I play his ribs.
Oh my god, okay. Make an attack roll with advantage.
Dirty 20.
Okay, that'll for sure hit.
9 damage then?
Okay. And that was with your sneak attack?
Yee.
Okay, good. So
Then-
as you're playing it, his bones are very brittle underneath these robes. So you get like one very quick musical note out of it before a cracking sound kind of comes paired with it, and it seems to do much more damage than you had initially thought. So he's still looking good. Not really.
So-
I mean, good for a skeleton because beard and hair, but.
Second hammer is a nat 20.
Oh, yes. Yes, so roll for damage.
Uh, 13.
How do you destroy this spectral Skellybeard man?
I slam. I just crack his head.
And this skeleton head explodes outward onto the ground. And as the head explodes, you hear almost like a trapped Macarena sound just echoes very quietly in the distance. And you see his lower jaw, the beard almost detaches itself from it and floats up into the ceiling and then just passes through. His hair does the same thing from the pieces of skull that have kind of shattered around. But you guys now stand surrounded by 7 skeletal bodies with a door leading to the east into a secret room. And that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I'd like to say thank you to these wonderful players for doing all of this amazing stuff. Man, I did not think that you were going to stomp a door and kill or loot a skeleton man while he was undead living. There's been a lot of fun stuff, especially, the grabbing of hams. So I would like to say again, thank you to these players. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or go to bit.ly/adventure merch, pick up some merch there, or leave us a good review on any of our iTunes stuff. Whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Cast. Let us know how we're doing. And if there's anything that we can improve, we will do our best for all of you guys. But we will try and be back shortly. So don't go no place. We'll see you guys soon. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. And we are back. So I would like to say over the break, our characters leveled up. We're no longer level 1, we are now level 2. As you guys cleared out a disturbance of weasels, went through a house, beat up some sturges, went underground, beat up some bandits, cleared out a room with a bunch of pirates, or bandits as level 1 characters. It has been a very long day for you guys. But the fruits of your labor have not gone unnoticed. So, you guys have gained HP equivalent to your level 2 character. I'm so sorry, Connor. Yes, so we are going to be picking up right where we last left off. You guys have killed this skeletal alchemist. His sweet robes and hat no longer occupied by this form. There are 6 skeletal bodies that are scattered throughout, each one seeming to have had this golden rib bone. What would you guys like to do?
Okay, we need to start collecting some evidence. I think we found whatever was haunting this place.
I quite concur with you. I walk over to my bag and I drop both my hammers in and like sling it back from my shoulder.
Start mage handing the bones, the golden rib bones together.
Okay. So yeah, you guys collect 6 golden rib bones, and there is a door that extends to the east in the upper corner of this room.
I'd like to check out that hat.
Okay.
Oh wait, am I still unconscious?
You are still unconscious.
Never mind, I will not check out that hat.
But seeing as how we're out of combat, I don't think any of your party members are just going to let you stay unconscious, because I heard that's super bad for you. So I'm assuming you guys would wake Hish up.
Oh yeah, and I'd be like, oh yes, right. I'm
yeah.
gonna go check on Hish. Hish, can you hear me?
You all right, Hish?
And Hish kind of sits up suddenly.
Okay, so the spell worked. That's good.
Do we do it? Do we get him? Sorry, I got the ham sweats for a second. I think I must have passed out.
Yes, we're good.
Oh, good. And the alchemist, he was disposed of?
I'll take care
Handily.
of.
Yes.
I'll then offer one of my beefy arms down to Hish. We'll help lift him up.
All right.
Yeah, he'll take you by the arm and pull himself up. Probably pulling you down a little bit in the process.
Hish is a big guy. Like, there is definitely a little bit of pullback.
I got 16 strength. I can handle this.
That's true. So yeah, it is
can handle
definitely
this beefy
a
boy.
moment of camaraderie as the two of you stand. And Albus, you have collected all of these golden bones.
And I would also like to mage hand the alchemy hat.
Yeah. It comes over to you, no problem. There's just this hat kind of floating through the air.
Over to Hish.
Okay.
Ah. And he immediately takes the hat. Thank you. I'm gonna inspect it for possible magical properties.
Okay. Are you trained in Arcana?
Nope. But I think he'd like to eyeball it to pretend to kind of like look it over like he knows what he's doing.
Make a deception check.
9.
So yeah, it's basically like, like clearly does not know how to look for magical things.
So I'll just mage hand it out and just like bring it over to me. Sorry, I just needed to check one thing real quick. I promise I'll give it right back. And I would also like to check and see if it's magical.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
And
All right. There are no lingering traces of magic on this. It seems like just a very fanciful hat.
and then I'll hand it back over.
Yes. Hish immediately puts it on,
Okay.
Dashing!
flipping his hair back.
I think while this is going on, Jill's made her way over to the soup pot that has like the skull in it, and it's just going to like, I guess, ladle the skull out and just be like, well, we probably need some sort of head for evidence. And then like with one of her hands, the back of it is going to glow a little blue, and she's going to cast Gust to kind of like get some of this soup off.
Okay. Yeah, you can blow dry this. You can blow dry the soup skull.
And just be like, this should do, probably. And put that away in her bag.
Okay. So you still have the robes of this alchemist that are with the remainders of its body, as well as the open door, or the door that opened that he then came out of, as well as the other closed door that is in this major room. What would you guys like to do?
Are the robes magical?
Are you going over to inspect the robes?
Yes.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
Natural 20.
Okay. So you looking at this, you don't actually see any kind of magic about these robes. They just seem like they're very on point for magic TM. But as you are kind of scanning around this, you start getting a mild twinge in your head as one of your constant headaches seems to emerge. But as you are scanning over this body, it seems like there is almost like a targeted headache that just sort of seems to track on where this on a position of the skeletal robes, and reaching in, you actually pull out what looks to be a blood red stone that is a little bit less than baseball sized. It fits snugly in your hand, but this thing just reeks of magical energy to you.
Can I check this out?
Okay. Yeah. I'll say with your natural 20 while you were
I rolled
investing.
another natural 20.
Holy shit. Yeah, you know this thing is fucking magical. You have heard the tales of items like this. You're pretty sure this might be a philosopher's stone. And looking around at this wizard as well, at this alchemical skeleton, underneath his robes, he was actually wearing a side bag. And when you look at the bag as well, the bag has a large smiling face that has been embroidered on it. And you know that item very well to be a bag of holding. And it seems like maybe this was where he kept just throwing fucking pots of acid out from.
Yeah, so I'll just... Do I know how bags of holding operate?
Yes. With your natural 20, man, like, who knows? You might have been the person who invented the bag of holding.
So I'll take it off and flip it inside out.
Okay. Are you just doing it, like, right over the skeleton, or are you doing it...
Like on the ground next to him.
Okay. So on the ground next to him, as you flip it over and pour it out onto the ground, there is a clattering as about 5 more of these pots all just fall to the ground and shatter into an acidic pool, but nothing else seems to come out from it.
Well, it was worth a check. And then I'll just put the bag of holding back on, put the philosopher's stone in, and just like sort of dust myself off. So, what else are we checking in here, or do you think we have enough evidence?
I think we might need to check out what's in that soup pot.
We did have a skull.
I got the skull. I don't know if you want to eat the soup, though.
Well, have you tasted the soup?
No, because there's been a skull in it.
Well, that doesn't necessarily... Maybe they were using the skull as a bowl.
No, it came from one of these. I was like pointing at one of the headless corpses.
I think Hish is gonna move over to where Jill is, and sort of. Are there any? There are no utensils around, right?
Not from your initial check, but you can make a perception check.
All right. That's an 18 plus 4.
There are 10 separate sets of utensils for all of the people that you assume might have been here.
Perfect. I'd like to take a spoon.
Totally.
And I think maintaining eye contact with Jill, I'm going to dip down into the soup and have a spoonful.
You don't know what that head's been.
What kind of chowder is this? Clam, potato, corn?
It is a potato chowder.
Yes. Yeah, I think he just keeps.
Yeah, there's a weird, brief layer of dust at the top, just because Skull landed in it. But there is a lot of the juices from the ham that had initially been hanging up over it have mixed in with this potato chowder, so it's a very hearty stew almost. If you just had a little bit of milk or something else like that, you could probably turn this into a really solid stew.
You guys, this is really good.
I reach
You
over
can't even taste the
and I
skull.
just scoop a handful.
It is very, very hot. But yeah, you drink a handful of soup.
I'm definitely not eating any now. No
That
offense,
was
Ulman.
painful. Yeah, I didn't think that through. Shall we check out his lab?
Yes, I think we should, and well, Albus will start heading that way.
Okay. Sounds good. So, Albus, as you enter in, what you see before you is that there is a bench that runs down the west wall of what seems to be a laboratory. And on the bench are jars of powders and liquids and several pieces of chemical apparatus. There is a table against the south wall forming an L shape with the bench, and a book is open on the table. Also on the table is a candlestick with a tiny stump of unlit candle still in it, and a variety of other items that, even in dim light, shine with the warmth of pure gold. And then one of these objects does look like a human skull.
Ah, charming. What? Tell me about the book.
The title of this book is Ye Secrets of Ye Philosopher's Stone. You do not see an author that is acknowledged on this book. And kind of looking through it, it is written in common, but it looks very complex. There are a lot of intricacies in here of a variety of arcane magics that right now are, upon initial view, are very difficult to understand.
For one of the common people, I'm sure. And then I'll put it in the back of holding. Mage hand it over.
Yep. And yeah, you see that there are, as you're standing in this room on the table, you can see that there is this human skull that is solid gold. You see that there is an apple that is solid gold. You see a rose that is also solid gold. And there are what look to be about 5 small discs that are used as balance weights that are all solid gold.
Mage hand them all into. I'm just sorcerer's apprenticing them all into the bag of holding.
Oh, yeah. No. And then there are also small stacks of coins that are littered across this table as well, totaling 47 gold pieces, as you just kind of pour everything into your bag of holding.
Albus, we're rich.
Hardly. But it'd be nice if we can sell this and liquidate them into something that would be useful to us.
And then
Like a boat.
Like a
Why would we
boat.
buy a boat?
make a investigation check as well.
It's not a natural 20. 6.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. Ulman, you're in the room as well.
Yeah.
Make a investigation or perception check, depending on how into it you are with scrounging around looking for things.
17.
Okay. So with a 17, you see that on this desk that the wizard had been using, there's actually a drawer that is placed underneath the central body of the desk, and with a quick tap, it unfolds down, and you hear a slight shh as a book just kind of slides down and then rests. And this book looks... it is kind of older. The pages are very weathered. It is a reddish color book that has a little bit of a golden trim around the sides. And picking it up and paging through it, it looks like it is full of a variety of spells. You, not being a caster, don't know exactly what these spells are, as it is not written in plain common, like, this is what this is. But it is a spell book, and this seems to have been this skeletal wizard spell book back when he was still alive.
Albus, this seems like your territory.
Sure. And I'll just mage hand it over.
Yep. And as you bring it over and you begin to look through, Albus, are you trained in Arcana?
Yes.
Okay. So for you recognize these spells, and you see that these are the spells for Dancing Lights, Comprehend Languages, Tensor's Floating Disc, and Shatter. And as a bard, you know that you would not be able to recite the words and spells from this book in the same way that a wizard would. Each of these spells will essentially act as a scroll for you. So after you read through it, the pages will then burn out.
Well, I'm sure this would be of use to somebody, but it's low-level stuff. It's something
Fair
someone,
enough.
I'm sure. There's got to be wizards in this town, right?
Somewhere.
You guys would know, at least on your initial walk through, that there weren't necessarily wizards, but you did spot that there were a few magic shops that were around, or at least general shops that also sold magical goods.
Right, someone learned.
Yes.
I'd feel kind of bad with everything we found here if we didn't look through the rest of the place. I'd hate to miss something and find people still in danger.
Right, there might be an actual ghost here.
I'd count that skeleton. He had ghosty hair.
He did. But I mean, that still doesn't account for the green spectral lights that Ned was talking about, although...
Dancing lights? I wouldn't know that.
Ned did try to kill us.
Yeah, we don't care about Ned anymore, do we?
I guess we don't.
We should just tell people to stay away from here. I think we've dealt with everything.
I don't know, I still kind of do want to see something else here. Who says that this is all the alchemist had?
Yeah, it seems a little strange. This workshop's a little sparse, honestly.
I think if Ulman and Albus were checking out the alchemist's lab, Hish would have gone to check out the other door that they had missed.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I would go
offered-
with Hish.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So yeah, as you guys go up to this other door, you try the handle and it opens fine, just with a very satisfying turn. And this is another pull door. So as you pull open the door, you see into this small room, and it, unlike the barracks that you guys have kind of seen as this long room where the ham and the almost stew was. This small room holds comfortable furnishings and appears to be well cared for. A comfortable looking bed in the northwest corner has a wooden locker at its feet, and a small wooden table stands against the east wall with a padded leather chair beside it. On the table, a brass 3-branched candlestick with 3 burning candles provides the room with light. The candles, though not fresh, are far from spent. They look like they definitely have a little bit of room still, a little bit of time still left in them. And under the table is a small wooden box and an unlit bullseye lantern with a movable shutter over its lens. And on the shelf above the table sits 3 books, and in the northwest corner is a closed wooden wardrobe. This looks like a very cozy room. And judging on the candles, this looks like somebody was living in here pretty recently.
Well, I'm interested in this footlocker and these other storage containers.
I was just thinking that. It looks awfully schmancy in here.
All right, well, let's try some lock picking, she says, getting out the hammer.
Okay. Make a strength check.
All right. That's going to be a 21.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you smash open the locker with absolutely no issue. And looking inside of it, there just seems to be some very nice clothes. It doesn't look like there's actually a whole lot of extra stuff inside of this locker that's at the end of the bed. But yeah, you do find that there is a coat that's kind of been folded up into it, and the coat has a bunch of pockets. None of them seem to be filled, and it is a very iridescent green color.
Well, Hish, I think we found a new article of clothing for your collection.
He pulls it out and gives it a flick and starts to pull it on. Yes, I think this is much better than the cloak we found.
This cloak that now has a large acid burn on it.
Yeah, I think he just kind of rips it off. He doesn't even untie it, just kind of pop, and pulls the coat on.
Okay.
It's a little disappointing, though. I have the sneaking suspicion that perhaps the other 2 boys are having a little bit more luck with treasure.
Yes, well, we have to do our part in some small way, she says, just brandishing the warhammer, looking for something else to hit.
So yeah, there is a wardrobe, a bed. You have broken the large foot locker, and then of course there is a much smaller wooden box as well. It does not look like it has any locks on it, and then there is a desk as well that's kind of been set off to the side. And the desk also has some drawers on it that you feel like you could totally smash, but it's entirely up to you.
You could always take a swing at the wardrobe.
Yes, I will go get the wardrobe, see if you can deal with the desk and the other stuff over there.
As you wish.
And I will show this wardrobe some diplomacy with my hammer.
Okay. Yeah, so make an attack roll.
Why won't you open up to me?
Oh, goodness. 17.
Okay. Yeah, so you smash this desk, and it actually bends in the middle, a very clear dent from where your hammer struck, and you hear a jostling noise, as it seems like there was a compartment underneath the desk that has actually been opened, and looking down underneath, you hear a thump, as what looks to be a book of sorts has just kind of fallen out from underneath onto the ground.
Well, I'm going to pick it up.
Okay. Sounds good. And as you start looking through it, it looks to be a spell book.
Oh, well.
And then Hish, make a... You're just kind of looking around.
Well, I'm looking at that. I'm gonna try to look inside that little box and then go through the drawers on the desk.
Okay. So looking at the little box, there's no lock on it or anything of the sort. And opening it up, you find 12 candles, a set of flint and steel, as well as a piece of parchment. And the piece of parchment says at the top, long, short, SS, is it safe? And then underneath it, SL, SL, everything's safe. And then beneath that, there's a third line that says LLL, ready to unload, come to the ship.
Okay, so this is some sort of like smuggler's document.
Your connection with smuggling, you're fairly certain that this is one side of a smuggler's operation. At least like a way to communicate, possibly with a ship that is out more towards the sea. You've done things like this before, and yeah, this is very much something to do with smuggling.
There's a bunch of garbage in here. I'm gonna jam it in my bag anyway, and start going through the drawers.
Okay. So going through the drawers, you don't end up finding anything else other than the spell book that dropped out. There is a quill, there's some ink, but overall there doesn't really seem to be much in terms of like just a stack of coins kind of hanging out.
Well,
but make a perception check as you're kind of looking around.
You got it. 12 plus 4.
So with your 12 plus 4, you are looking around this room and kind of inspecting the table, and one of the books on the shelf actually catches your eye. And it says, it lists on the side, Volo's Guide to the Indoors, and all other things too. And then there is a second one that lists Saltmarsh sea tables. And then there looks to be a much thinner book as well.
Yeah, I think Hish is going to kind of stroll over and pull them down.
Okay. So looking at Volo's Guide to the Indoors and all other things as well, as you open it up, you have to kind of like quickly close it and see if anybody is looking at you. Look at this book. And as you open it up again, it is a book of erotic poetry that is fully illustrated.
Putting that in my bag. Next book.
Okay, the next book, it appears to be a naval almanac that lists all of the tide times for the coast about 100 miles or so around the Saltmarsh area.
Okay, that's useful. Also putting that in my bag. What's the third one?
The third one that you find is a very small book that looks like it's handwritten, and it says an ode to Bane on the cover of it. And as you like open it up and look through, you just see that it is, upon brief reading, it looks like it is some sort of religious document, possibly related to proselytizing, seeing about if they could actually convince people to join in on the Church of Bane through this document. And you can make a religion check if you would like to find out who Bane is. Or if you recall who Bane is.
Okay, so this is like a what are they called? Not a chicklet. It's
a track?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I think instead of making a religion check, Hish is going to kind of walk over to Jill and hand it over to her.
Okay.
I don't know if you're the religious type, but I'm definitely not. I do not know what this is.
I have some experience. Let me see this.
Okay.
But she says that pretty warily.
All right.
It's like,
So make a religion check.
22.
Okay. Yeah, you know who Bane is. Bane is not a good deity by any means. I mean, Umberly isn't the best deity either, but at least there are some standards there. Bane is more of a tyrant's deity. He is all about oppression and making sure that people are beneath his boot at pretty much all times. What he wants is to effectively rule the realms with an iron fist. And actually, at the end of this pamphlet, you see that there is a crudely drawn black fist that is facing forward. There is a very terribly drawn thumb because hands are hard to draw, and then the rest of the fingers are kind of tucked in. And then you also find that there is a note sheet that is in the back of this pamphlet as well, that kind of falls out, almost very similar to how you had how this pamphlet had fallen out upstairs when you read the kind of destroyed paper that said Beyond Skeletons. And looking at this, you see that there are 4 words that are listed on the side, and then what looks to be a phonetic breakdown for a set of other words along the side. And you see the word stop, and then on the other side it says Dorgot. Then there is fight, and on the other side it says Kre Hek Nor. The third line says come, and then on the other side it says Dorgarak. And on the fourth line it says lift, Hak Umph. And you can make a nature check as you are reading this.
Okay. 11.
You aren't really sure what this means at all? It seems like it's definitely a translation of some sort. Like, it seems like there is common leading to another language, but you just can't really place that language. What languages do you speak?
Common and Elvish.
Yeah, it feels dirty coming off of your tongue. You don't really like it. Blech.
So I can tell you about this. Bane is not a very good deity. It's, tyrant kind of stuff. This, however, that was with that, is something that I cannot make heads or tails of.
Yeah, I think Hish is gonna take a look at it. And I speak common and orc.
Okay, so as you are reading it and kind of making the syllables, make a nature check. And this is going to be with advantage.
Okay. Well, that's a 2, so no. And that's a 1, so no.
Seems slightly familiar, but I mean, words seem familiar. You've been drunk and made noises before.
I kind of know what words are.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shrugs. Means nothing to me.
Well, maybe one of the other two can make some sort of sense of it.
So let's see. To tally it up, we found clothes. What was the book you found under the...
Some sort of spell book.
Okay, spell book. Some porn. Some naval...
Wait, excuse me, what?
He looks down sheepishly for a moment and then pulls it out of his bag and hands it to you.
Well, that is pretty crude.
I wasn't going to keep it.
Insight check. That's a 22.
He was going to keep it.
Well, I'm not one to shame anyone's taste, so here, dispose of this as you wish.
Yeah, just gonna, throw it in the ocean or whatever.
Of course.
Anyway, some naval charts, and a bunch of things we can't make sense of.
Well, let's just go beat up the wardrobe for good measure.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're going, make a investigation check as you're on your way over as well. Or actually perception would probably work better.
10.
11.
So as you're over going on your way to the wardrobe, you see that this bullseye lantern, it doesn't look like it gets used very often, but it still definitely has some use to it. There is about a fresh candle about half down inside of this thing, and there is a small bit of dust, but you can also see that there are scrape marks along the side from when the hood kind of gets drawn and closed.
Oh, that's the signal.
What was that, Hish?
The tiny box that was under the desk. It was a bunch of tools, smugglers' tools, as a way of communicating with other smugglers. The lantern, long, short, long, it's how long you open the lantern. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is exactly right.
Do you imagine that might have been what the lights in the window were?
Oh, you know, I didn't put 2 and 2 together on that one, but maybe it would make sense.
So perhaps no ghosts, but maybe this is a base for a smuggling operation, you think?
Oh, it definitely is. It's definitely a base for smuggling. I'm gonna guess that those guys with the ham in the other room were just a band of smugglers.
Well, smugglers and skeletons. What an interesting combination.
So it technically was haunted, just not as haunted, I think, as we might have hoped.
Well, that was, this is enlightening. I would like to go beat up the wardrobe.
Yeah, you totally
Don't let
smash
me
down-
stop you.
Yeah, you totally put the smash on this wardrobe, and as you are beating down on it, you find a fancy floor-length oiled coat.
Well,
And it is also this kind of brighter green color.
do you want this as well?
It seems a little greedy to have 2 coats.
You know, I suppose I could make use of it. We could match.
Yeah, he nods, and I think he's just been kind of standing back against like one of the bedposts and just watching you beat up this wardrobe.
And it is, as you are like making sure that this robe fits, and it's a little baggy on you. This is definitely meant for a taller person. That is when Albus and Ulman come back and see that the door that you guys had previously left shut is now open, and you can hear both Hish and Jill inside of the room. And upon kind of like peeking in,
banging?
everything's fucking destroyed except the bed.
What did you do to this room?
Was there combat?
No, we were investigating.
Okay.
Some real police work in here.
I can see that.
I see there was some advanced interrogation. And then Ulman sees Hish and like steps back and does a dramatic double take. He's like, "Where do you find this fashion, Hish?"
The fashion just, you know, it doesn't, I don't find it. It just finds me. He pops the collar on the coat.
I wish.
Well, I do have this cloak here, if you would like.
I mean, if you'll give it to me, I'll take it. I'd like a Greek cloak.
Jill will take it off and hand it to Ulman.
Ulman, it fits you much better because you are a taller man. And
There we go.
in a very strange way, you see the two of them wearing almost the same clothes. Their hair is almost the same length. They both have this squarish jaw. There's something weird about it, and you don't know how to put it other than when you're browsing a section of like a fantasy novel section at a bookstore and you see 2 covers that look identical.
You think you might have seen this in the book that
Totally worried about this.
Jill just takes a moment to ponder.
So we didn't find any ghosts in the alchemy laboratory, but we did find some notes on a philosopher's stone and a whole bunch of gold things that we could possibly sell.
I love the sound of that. I don't care much about the stone, but the gold, that sounds great because we found absolutely nothing in here.
Well, we found a spell book, and we found out that this is the base of some Yes, here you go. Yes, take this. And we found out that this is the base for a smuggling operation. But other than that, no real loot.
That's disappointing.
Mystery.
So
Yes.
Albus, as you're kind of like quickly flipping through this spell book, you see that it is that there are quite a few spells deep in this spell book. There is Dancing Lights, Minor Illusion, Ray of Frost, Charm Person, Color Spray, Magic Missile, Silent Image, Magic Mouth, and Scorching Ray.
This is all novice work. It's fine. We can sell it to somebody.
Well, it could be useful. I don't know.
I'm sure. Look, I just really wanted to find someone learned in this city. So hopefully I can hand this off to you and also be able to learn a little bit more myself.
Well, you came to the wrong place.
I can see that.
Excuse me.
Look, I've been to many a port city, and
And this one's the best one, yes. I agree.
I think Waterdeep is more what you're looking for. And she'll just say, like, looking at Albus.
Man, fuck Waterdeep. Just leave me.
Anyways, I see no reason to stick around.
We've got a reward to claim.
Do we?
Oh.
Were we supposed to get a
Maybe.
reward for this?
Hopefully.
I thought we were just delving into dilapidated houses.
Hish said that
No.
the
Dilapidated
city was
domiciles.
offering a reward, right?
Hish
If there
did
was a
say that
reward.
there was a 100 gold piece reward for doing this.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, we found some undead wizards and a smuggling operation, I think. Yeah, let's cash in.
I think
Let's
that
do
says enough for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Whenever we leave, I remember last time there was a couple of books on the floor from Nolzer or Tensor.
Yes.
Can I get those as well?
yeah. There are 2 books by Tensor and 1 by Nistel.
I actually have those books.
Oh, okay.
But if you ask me for them, well,
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over there and like start looking for them. Did anybody pick up those books?
do you mean these? I'll say, just pulling them out.
Oh, yes. So we found a couple of other books in the alchemist laboratory. I just figured, we might as well get anything useful from here.
Oh, yeah, right. Did you want these?
I would love them.
Well, here you go. I suppose you can pay me back in some way later.
Okay.
I think Ulman just starts.
They go in the bag of holding.
The ladder.
Ulman, you're doing what?
I'm just making my way towards the ladder.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, as you guys are all making your way back out towards the ladder, you manage to climb up out of this house, stepping over these 3 bandit bodies as well as the body of Ned. And you find yourselves back on the outside of this very spooky looking house. There's weasel bodies that are littering the front doorsteps, but that's neither here nor there. And you guys collect all of your gear and everything that you found and then begin making your way back to town. It is very late in the evening at this point. The sun has definitely set. You're kind of walking in the dark. And it's a little scary as, again, there are many points where there is no guard railing and just a straight drop down to the sea below. And that is when you begin to, again, just kind of make your way towards the town. And as you're going, you hear what sounds like someone yelling from inside of the house in a very upset fashion. What would you guys like to do? Just continue on your way back towards the town, or are you going to go back and investigate that?
From the house we just came from?
Yes. Seems a very angered noise.
Hish pinches the bridge of his nose and says, "Are any of us particularly interested in the yelling?"
No, whoever that is sounds very angry, and I am very, very exhausted.
Motherfucker! I think the still remaining gang member has found some dead ones, and maybe we should get out of here before he finds us, so that we can sleep and maybe deal with them later if we feel like that.
Real quick, none of us left any of our belongings behind.
No.
Nothing to identify us. Good. Back to the tavern.
Right? Yeah, so you guys just quicken your pace, making sure to just get as far away from this haunted house as you can. And you find yourselves back in the at the Snapping Line, the very tavern that you guys started this entire adventure at. And Hish, you know that it is very late. You're probably not going to be able to talk to your contact, Gillen Primewater, until at least the next day. But for right now, you guys can enjoy a night on the tavern with some very, very disgusting smelling drink, as well as a variety of foods, should you so choose.
Is what's his face in here? I don't know if we ever asked his name.
He is not there. The storyteller that you guys met earlier in the day. He seems to have gotten his fill of drink and food and gone off to his own home.
Well, I'm going to order an ale because I think that has the least likely chance of tasting like lobster and potatoes.
Me.
I'm starving and thirsty. 6 wines, please.
Okay. And as you order 6 wines, the barkeep just looks at you and just... All right, that's going to be 3 gold pieces.
Slide 3 gold pieces over.
Ooh, tall customers. She takes the gold, wanders back. And after about 5 minutes or so, you see her holding on to 6 mugs. There don't seem to be wine glasses in this establishment, but just sets 6 mugs of wine down onto the table. And would anybody else like anything? And it's the bartender is a woman with kind of sandy blonde hair that's been pulled back into a ponytail, very short tail. It's not very. She doesn't have long hair at all.
So I'll pay for everybody's food.
Okay. Yeah, so for everyone's food and drink, that is going to cost you, on top of the 3 gold that Ulman already spent, another 4 gold pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, Hish just kind of signals her and it's just my usual. Thank you.
Yep. And she'll nod and say, of course. And then, yeah, you guys eventually get all of your food and drink and are now just kind of hanging out at this tavern as the night draws on. Ulman, are you sharing these 6 wines, or are you drinking all of these wines to yourself?
6 of them in a row. I just
okay. After
Hish applauds.
I'm gonna need. Let's do some con saves. Let's see how this goes.
I'm so excited for how this is going.
just roll.
Yep, just roll a
go.
Constitution saving throw.
12.
Okay, that's good. It doesn't taste the best. It tastes pretty good to you. But 15, still good. Your tummy's getting a little full, but you're managing to hold it. You're not really like showing signs of drunkenness at all.
16.
Still good. You are on your third fish wine, your third lobster wine, and you're doing fine.
They do say it gets better as the more you have.
Another 15.
Still good.
18.
Yeah, you're doing fine with claw wine. You are 5 cups in right now, just having a time with it.
And 12.
Okay, so on the very last one, you have been holding yourself very well. Each time just popping it up, pouring it in, next one, pouring it in, next one, pouring it in. And it is like the first 5 have hit you all at once. And you can kind of feel the claw, like the lobster meat and potato just starting to get into your tummy. But you manage to hold it. And like you feel it wanting to come back up, but you just will it to stay inside. Your cheeks turn almost like a little bit of a shade of reddish purple as you just will yourself to keep this down. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as you try and muster up the mental ferocity to keep this down.
14?
That's good enough. So Ulman just drains 6 claw wines.
I let out the largest burp.
It smells
An incredible burp.
terrible. It is the worst. It is a wine burp mixed with a lobster and potato burp, mixed with whatever the fuck it was you were if you have eaten yet. I don't think
Some
you have.
ham.
There was ham. Oh, there's just like ham scent that also comes out with it. That's my X card. I don't want that. No,
I
thank
draw
you.
the line at ham scent.
With the ham. My fragrance of choice.
I think Jill's just gonna like blink and just be like, that's a scent.
I'll go open a window.
There aren't like draw up windows, it's all open air, but it's just hanging. Like it is just this thick, cloudy burp that does not seem to disperse. In like a minute or two it will, but there's nothing you can do. The only thing that's more overpowering than that is just the raw fish smell that just fills this bar. So it is not a good time.
Jill's gonna like reach out again, and with the same hand that like turns slightly a little blue on the back, she's just gonna like gust and hopefully disperse some of this.
Yeah, no, with a gust, you definitely manage to blow all of this lobster, potato, fish, wine, ham, healing potion burp out of your general area, and you kind of like, you have a general sense of how the reach and in range of your magic, and you're just kind of like, no, gross cloud, get away from me, please. And you see that there is a very tired-looking fisherman kind of enjoying his meal, who then just, oh god, and he just stands up and rushes out of the establishment.
Well, I did not foresee that. Oh well.
Do either of you have a place to stay for the night?
Oh, I've been staying here for the past week or so.
Hish,
I live here.
Yeah, you live here. Jill, you have been having to, your captain has kind of been helping to pay for your general living expenses as, again, Cleric of Umberly, please protect my ship from sinking. So he's trying to do all that he can to really, like, earn your favor. So your place is currently bought and paid for in terms of staying here at the snapping line, which everything that you have is just fish smell from being here. No matter how much time you spend out on the street or far away, it seems to have just sunk into your clothing and into your gear.
Lovely.
Very well. I'll go at least pay for Ulman in my room.
I am a little curious, if you don't mind me asking. You said you were looking for someone learned here in Saltmarsh?
Yes.
What is it that you wish to accomplish?
I don't remember.
You don't remember why you're looking for someone? That's... Forgive me again. I couldn't help but notice earlier when we were in the house, you... I think I made some sort of offhanded comment about, I don't know, having a memory of this place, and you looked a little troubled.
Did I? I guess I'm not quite as well regarding my thoughts as I thought I was. Yes, just a standard bit of amnesia, I guess.
How long has this been? How long do you believe that you've had this amnesia?
About 3 years.
Oh, goodness. That's quite a long time.
I mean, let me be clear. I remember everything. Well, most everything since then. It's just a bit of a blank spot.
So everything that happened before the 3 years you don't remember, or?
Right.
Oh, goodness. Well. And so perhaps you're thinking someone with arcane knowledge can help you out with this?
I just had a thought to come here to Saltmarsh. I'm not really sure where the idea came from.
Well, perhaps, not to be superstitious, but maybe perhaps you are tied to this place somehow, and whatever memories you can't access, maybe, I don't know. This is just speculation.
No, I do believe you're onto something. I had a similar thought.
Well, I hope you can find whatever you're looking for in Saltmarsh. I'm afraid there's not much to be found here. No offense, Hish.
Well, I mean, we've already had one sort of job that we found, and I found actually a lot of things that we can deal with, and a lot of really great books that, once again, I would hope to be able to give to somebody a little bit more learned. So I'm quite pleased with our prospects so far.
Would I know of anybody in town?
I was just going to say that. Yes. Yes, you would. Make a history check.
That's just a 12.
All right. So you know that there are two smartest people in town. One of which is, of course, your contact, Gelman. Of course, he's one of the smartest people in town. He's kept you employed, and with a lot of the Kingsguard off of your back for quite some time. But the other smartest person is actually a magic shop owner, as well as kind of a general salesman of mundane gear, or in case you need anything imported. They are it is a tiefling woman by the name of Zendros, and she runs a shop called the Faithful Quartermaster of Iuz. It is IUZ.
Yeah, I think Hish, he's tapping his fingers on the table and he looks up at you, Albus. While Jill is not entirely wrong, I think there is somebody who might be able to help you.
And who would that be, if you don't mind me asking?
Now, don't take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know anything about magic, but there's a shopkeeper in town. Her name's Zendros. Runs what was it? The Faithful Quartermaster something. You'll just look for the Faithful Quartermaster sign. You'll find it. I mean, she's the smartest person I've come across in town, so.
Oh, well, that seems like an excellent place to check.
At the very least,
tomorrow, whenever we collect on whatever this is.
Yeah, just like a bounty, I guess. At the very least, I hope she can point you in the right direction.
Well, I thank you for the information.
Absolutely.
And then he's actually going to go pay for his room.
Okay. So the rooms are going to be 5 gold pieces. If you would like to get 2 rooms. So it's 5 per, or it's just 5 for 1.
You know Ulman would be fine sharing a room.
Okay. Earlier you said I picked up 47 gold pieces. Was that 47 gold pieces of liquidated currency?
Yes.
Or okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was just kind of sparse around the table, and it looks like an old minting, but gold coins are gold coins.
Cool. So I'll pay for it. I just get 1 room.
Alrighty. So, Jill, you are going to be going off to your room. Hish, you are going to be going back to the house that you currently, it'd be a small house at this point that you currently live out of. And then Ulman and Albus, both of you find yourself heading to rest as well. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's game. Unless you had something else that you would like to do.
I would.
Yes.
Whenever Ulman and I are in our rooms. Sorry, I know we didn't really go over the whole amnesiac thing.
I've been putting that together. You're pretty tight-lipped about the past, and well, I don't know. It was a hunch, but nice to know. You know my secret, so.
There's a little bit more to that. I figured, since you trusted me with yours.
Sure.
You're not the only one suffering with a little bit of dysmorphia. And I know a little bit more.
All right.
I used to remember everything.
Okay.
Everything.
But it's being blocked slowly?
About 3 years ago, I just lost all that extra room. I just don't have enough room to think anymore.
Because there's someone else there.
Because I'm someone else.
Oh. All right.
But
are you Albus? Or is this something else, Albus?
Albus is a name that everybody would be able to pronounce, so...
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, yeah. I understand that.
Right.
So are you trying to find a way out? Are you working with the... Can you communicate cross
What do you
with
mean?
the other person? Is there someone else in there, or...
No, I'll explain more.
All right.
More later. It's just... I figured I owed you that much.
All right. Well, I'm your bodyguard. I'm here. We'll figure it out.
I know we will.
And that.
All right.
On that part, that is where we will call it for this evening. The fucking tea. I love this. This is great. So I would like to say thank you to all of you wonderful players for doing this again this week. This is great. I love Saltmarsh. This is gonna be a fucking rad campaign. I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and enjoy this weirdly wholesome stream. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So we're gonna go around, do our sign off. So, Dingo, where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me on Twitter at WheresMyDingus. I do a lot of tabletop role-playing games on Twitch and other things on other people's channels. Mondays, you can find me on twitch.tv/katieface. On Katie's channel, we are doing Monster of the Week on Monday. I do that with KyleWithAnN. It's very fun. Tuesdays, I'm also on Katie's channel playing Masks, which is a role-playing game about teenage superheroes. Also very fun. And then Thursdays, you can find me here. And starting on June 7th, I'm going to be back on Off the Table playing Urban Shadows Sanguahoma the Claiming, which is a version of the Sanguahoma game that we've been playing, but set in cowboy times. So, yeehaw. It's going to be very good. And that's it. That's all I do right now.
Awesome. Reeves, what do you do? Where can we find you?
Hi, I'm ReevesBot. I play in this game on Thursdays, as you may know. Surprising, I know. You can find me on Twitter as ReevesBot. Also on Twitch. I stream on Wednesdays from 5:30 to 8:30. That's a show in which I'm attempting to play through all the games in my library, which is somewhere in the multi-hundreds, by having one of my friends guest and choose 3 random games, and I play each one for an hour, and then decide whether I like them or not. Neil or Hay. And then on Sundays, I play through longer campaign-based games with some of my friends. Right now, we're doing a tactician run-through of Divinity 2 with 4 players from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Excellent. And Cyber, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Cyber. I'm back on my bullshit, and you can find me on Twitter at CyberWolf1201, where I shitpost. That's about it. I talk about whenever I go live on my Twitch channel. I am a variety streamer who plays video games badly, but I talk about lore. Right now, I'm doing a blind playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and it is such a wonderful, wonderful game, such a wonderful, wonderful experience, trying to figure out all these juicy role-building details through environmental storytelling, and it's great. The archives from all that go to a YouTube channel that doesn't have a great URL at the moment, but you can find it through twitch.tv/cyberwolf1201. It's somewhere there. All those, yeah, you can find the archives from that there. You can also find the podcast that KyleWithAnN and I do called Let's Talk About It, where we get drunk, talk about the games we've done, and do a little bit of parkour. A new episode of that coming whenever I find the time to edit it. Yeah, for other role-playing stuff, you can find me on Indoor Adventures. That's it. But you can find me on Mondays in the Homebrew for Keeps game, where I play Arjan, the Dragonborn Blood Hunter. And you can also find me here on Saltmarsh.
Yes. And KyleWithAnN, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi everyone, I'm KyleWithAnN, otherwise known as KyleWithAnN on Twitter and Twitch. Twitter is the best place to get a hold of me. See when I do stream on Twitch, because I have a pretty erratic schedule. I will be announcing a super special secret stream coming up soon that I'm really excited for. Other than that, like Dingo said, you can catch me Mondays on Katie Face playing Monster Week. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. EST, I am playing Monster Hearts over on twitch.tv/ProRestarter. And then, of course, you're here Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. EST on Indoor Adventures. Yeah. Oh, and of course, let's talk about it. You can get that on all the podcasting services. You can even buy merch if you so choose from the Cyberwolf 1201 Merch Labs store on his Twitch. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent. And if you have made it here, you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, hello, it is I, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at Indoor Adventures. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We got VODs that go up on youtube.com/Indoor Adventures. We got audio casts everywhere that you can find audio casts. And if you can't find us there under Indoor Adventures, let me know, because I want to be the Indoor Air Conditioning Repair Podcast. That is my goal this year. It's my goal. Tabletop people, I believe in you. I believe in you more than I believe in air conditioning, because air conditioning is a fallacy, at least in my tiny stream room. So as summer heats up, I will either join my air conditioning brothers or I will melt. Either way, it'll be fun, and you can probably see it on Twitch. But we also have a Patreon set up. So if you want to join us or support us there, you can go to patreon.com/Indoor Adventures, where we have an after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community at large. And I think after this episode, we are going to have quite a number of questions, as following many face journeys tonight, there were quizzical looks abound. So we're going to be going into that. I would like to say again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop by. Thank you to these wonderful players. And we will see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.